What is up, everyone? Welcome to the newest episode of Nuts and Bolts. It's our last episode before the draft. Let's ask the Magic 8 Ball if it's going to be a good episode, Tony.
Will this be a good episode
of Nuts and Bolts?
My sources say no.
Oh, my goodness.
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
On blue, ready?
Don Coryell.
Touchdown, San Diego! Woo!
I don't care about the 8 Ball. That music gets me in a good mood every single week on a Friday night. What is up, everyone? Welcome into the newest episode. I'm here with Tony Tucker. How's it going, Tony?
My brother, I am excited. It is, 6 more days until we draft, right? 7 more days for the Raiders because they don't pick on the first or second day. But for good teams, draft starts in 6 days. Couldn't be more excited. I'm loving talking to everybody, like in all the different social media platforms and reading their comments. It is really interesting. We already got Joe Morley in here spreading some hate. Like, he just can't. Joe, did you not hear this? You draft. You guys have a whole nother day to wait for you guys to get worried about messing up your picks over there in the silver and blah.
They need some extra time to make their decision on who they're going to reach on in round 3 this year.
Oh man, which undrafted left tackle are they taking in the 3rd round?
I don't know.
I can't wait, and I can't wait to be on there. So I don't think we don't know for sure, but I think we are going to do a show together on draft night potentially, right?
That's in the works. That's the plan. What platform, where we're going to do it, that's going to be the question. But we'll try and get it to this channel for sure.
Yes, which is going to be fun and interesting. We're going to do more. This episode is all about draft talk. You saw the 8 Ball there. You saw the 8 Ball in the thing. There's just so much speculation, Mike. And like, when I look at this, and I was talking about this with Joe earlier, it's like all of these experts they're just becoming tabloid journalists now. Their mocks go from like Aiden Hutchinson is 1 or 2, but he could go 7. Now it's like a week later. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys are a source for information, and now your mock draft has like, there's a kid from Kentucky State that could be in the end of the first round. I'm like, no, why are you doing this? I thought I had everything figured out. So now, any questions that you have, put them in the chat, and we will ask them at the Magic 8 Ball. And I've come up with some of the questions that I've kind of compiled from around the internet. Like, what are Chargers fans like talking about, concerned about, whatever? And we're going to let my daughter's Magic 8 Ball answer the questions for us.
I think it's going to be a fun time on the show. Yeah, it does seem like the mock drafts are all over the place this year. And that has a lot to do with there not being like any sure quarterbacks or sure elite tackles available to go number 1 overall. There's so many questions up in the air. And like you said, there are random guys that are just getting brought up, possibly being first-round picks. It'll be interesting.
Well, Stingley was being mocked to like 24 in some drafts, like early on, and now people are going, well, he could go 3. He might go 2, and I'm like, no, dude, no, stop it. He needs to go like 10. What's going on here?
He's gonna go at 17, Tony. He's gonna go at 17. The Chargers fans, 8 Ball sidekicks, geniuses, black magic. Not enough talent. They need outside help. Isn't this a fan of the team that went and traded for the best wide receiver in football? Wait a minute. Outside help? What are we even talking about? Instant replay in here. What's up, man? Thank you for joining again.
Replay. What's going on? So this is the guy who came on the show, right? This is his.
It is.
What's going on?
Amazing.
Yes. Raiders suck. 4th place. The psychic for the Raiders just said, you guys can't draft, just trade it away. Like, that's how they landed Devontae Adams. Like, they were on the fence. You guys went to a psychic, and it was like, there's no hope. There's only darkness. Get rid of this. It will not work out for you for the 5th year.
They went to the psychic, and the psychic said, I don't need any cards. I don't need any magic. I don't need any special abilities. You guys should not be drafting. So we don't need to talk about it. We don't need. I've looked at your past. I do not need to look at your future.
Yeah, and of course, he would hate on our social media team for having a good time. Like it's not.
Right.
You think Telesco was sitting there in the corner going, "What does she say? What does her tarot card say? What are we doing? What should I do with pick 17?" No, this was fun for the fans. We had fun with it, and I did. If you're here, I put up a video on our YouTube of me deciphering what the genie lady said on her crystal ball and her cards, and I think I nailed it.
Well, let's have some fun with some magic of our own. Pull up
Let's
these
do it.
slides. Appreciate you for preparing these slides. So basically what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to ask all of these questions that we have prepared before the show, and we're going to ask the Magic 8 Ball what it thinks, and then we'll share what we think about the question. So the first question is, Tony, will we trade up in day one of the draft? Here we go.
Come
Here we go.
on, Magic 8 Ball. We want to trade up to this spot. Outlook, not so good.
Ooh, so we're not trading up. We're not trading up. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What do you think, Tony?
So here's the thing. I'm okay with it if these rumors are true that these experts are starting to see Stingley go more towards 3. Because I think if you have to give up next year's first and this year's third to get high enough to get him, I'm not sure that it's worth it, right? Like you could stay at 17 and maybe McDuffie or Booth is there at 17 if you really want a corner. These are good NFL ready start corners, both of them, right? And you even watched Booth and said maybe he's better. Like, like maybe he's on the same level as these other guys. So like, what's the rush to get up there?
Yeah, it doesn't feel necessary to trade up and give up future draft capital, especially when you don't have a second round pick for a right tackle. That's just the level of importance on the line is not up to trading up into the top 10 or whatever it might be to get Evan Neal or Icky or even maybe Charles Cross. They're saying that he may go like in the mid-teens now instead of in the 20s, what I was seeing before. But yeah, the only player that I think that I'd want to trade up for is Stingley, and maybe 10 with the Jets is as high as I want to go because I don't want to give up, a first round pick next year just to move up and get one player who's going to be, a death piece for us because our roster's so stacked right now.
Well, the trade that I've been working with is this, and that is if the Jets want to take one of their 2 seconds and turn it into a first next year, we could get pick 38 and 10 for this year's first and next year's first, right? So then we would have a first and a second round pick, 10 and 38. And I think that is a good draft for us. But my thinking, the reason I put these 3 players up there is because these are the 3 players that I think are game changers on defense. Hamilton and Stingley both give us the best secondary in the league by like middle of the season. When these 2 young kids figure it out, and they have talent around them like JC and Derwin and Asante, and it'll be lights out. Jameson Williams' speed by week 8, he'll be on the field, and it'll be like, wait, what was that? Oh, that was 15-second touchdowns, 15-second drives, kind of like what the Chiefs have been doing for a while. And that's why I could see them saying, hey, we want to have that element to our offense. We got a guy who threw it into a buttonhole to Jalen Guyton on a 63-yard bomb against the Giants last year. That pass next year looks like Jameson Williams has like 6 steps on the defender, and it's not even close.
And I was there in person to see that pass, Tony, and it was beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye. And it was one of those ones where it was just such a high pass, a moon ball, as they call them, that it just sat up there for probably 3 to 5 seconds, and the whole stadium, you could feel the gasp, like, yeah, he got it.
And that's my favorite throw was to Palmer on 4th and 21. That one that was like
mailbox.
They don't even throw that good on Madden. Like it's not even that ridiculous on Madden. You cannot duplicate that throw on 4th and 21 to Palmer for the touchdown.
I'm very interested to see what happens with Hamilton as well, Tony. We'll see how far he slides because I think the Giants at 7, the Falcons at 8, the Vikings at 12, the Seahawks, like the Jets. Any of these teams could draft him. He's just a plug player. You just plug him into anyone's lineup that doesn't have Jesse Bates or
you don't think John Harbaugh would love to figure out how to get that kid in defense and turn him into something special? I agree with Lucky You though. Like the thing that I wrote on the vision board is that they trade back. Packers, Lions, viable, maybe even like a small trade with the Steelers. Maybe Desmond Ridder is sitting there and they say, hey, the Steelers are like, the Saints could go after him, even though they have Dalton and Winston. Who knows? I don't know. I would like,
especially if a second round pick is acquired in the deal where we can get another pick. Because I feel like that one more pick would really be nice to come out of the draft with like that extra fill in the blank, that extra player that we want in the second round, extra person for the depth.
I feel like that is where we get the right tackle. That's where we start looking at the Faleles, and now people are talking about this Abraham. Forget what his name is.
Abraham, Zach Tom or whatever his name is. Zach Tom. I think.
Yeah, I when we were doing our original mock drafts, everything I was reading and hearing was like Zach Tom was a 4th round pick because I put him on our initial one, and I was like, this guy's going to be a player. I've even seen the other guy like Max Mitchell, the big right tackle. They're like, this guy's going into the second round. I'm like, that just shows you the premium of people looking for tackles. And I think there are going to be some playable right tackles in the second round. And currently we don't have a pick there.
You can always trade for Penei Sewell, right?
Except there's my dream scenario.
All right, speaking of O-line, here's the next question for the Magic 8 Ball. So shake that thing up, Tony. Is guard the smart move if we stay put and draft at 17?
Magic 8 Ball says... My reply is no.
Woo! Ooh.
I think my daughter gave me the depressing 8 Ball here.
Yeah,
like, what is it? Like, does it have any happy suggestions on it? But it says my reply is no. Maybe the 8 Ball's right, Mike, because like I'm seeing now a lot more of even some of the PFF guys are bringing up like the guy from Kentucky, Darian Kennard or whatever, I believe is a big guard. Jameer Slayer, or however you say his name, from Georgia is another guard that people like that you can get in later rounds. So like my thing with Zion Johnson is the versatility and the intelligence, and Kenyon Green, he just looks like somebody who's like, hey, we need 3 yards here. We're going to go run behind this guy. We're going to have this guy, pull, and he's just going to smash somebody in the face.
He's a tank. I think that Tom Brady would love to have this player in his empty guard spot as well. He's a tank. Kenyon Green's a tank. And then Zion Johnson is more of a smarter guy, smarter player, higher IQ player. It'll be interesting to see where these guys go because they definitely have like first round talent, but the league, again, they just don't value guard like they value left tackle. We could see the tackles all start to move up and these guards start to slide. And even if the Chargers don't draft at 17 and they move back, if we're at pick 22 after Packers move back, both of them could be on the board. Both of them could be on the board for us to choose from.
And then I would really be like, hey, let's go.
Yeah,
let's get this. Because when you look at how successful the Cowboys running game was when they had who were the guards again? Was it
Zach Martin?
Zach Martin and blanking on the other guy's name.
Frederickson. Yeah, Frederick somebody. And yeah, it was a couple guys.
Yeah. But they had 2 good guards on that team, and Zeke was getting to the line of scrimmage and beyond sometimes before anybody would even have a hand on him. So, like, I think that if we could have a guard system with Filer on one side and one of these guys on the other side, potentially, with Lindsley in the middle, all of a sudden now even Josh Kelly is getting 3 to 5 yards behind that offensive line. And maybe he doesn't need to do the extension and fumble the ball on the goal line there. So who knows? No. But 8 Ball says
worst plays.
It's not the right pick. It's not the right pick. All right, 8 Ball.
One of the worst plays And I've watched as a Chargers fan was that Josh Kelly run on the one. No awareness at all. Anyways, here we go. Next question, Tony. Will Penning make Bolts fans feel some regret? Question mark.
Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake up. Roll it in a circle of homies and watch me break. Connor Williams. Thank you, instant replay.
Well, we want this to be no this time.
It says outlook good.
That he is going to give us regret. Let's just stay away from Penning. Like I personally, when I watch him, I see the mistakes that Chargers fans are bringing up, but I don't fear that these mistakes can't be corrected into the NFL, and I don't see them happening more often than not, is what I'm trying to say. He's a young guy in college playing football. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. I feel like at right tackle, he'd be good. He's used to playing left tackle and going against the other team's best.
So here's my thoughts on Penning. And I am of the opinion that players are allowed to improve, right? Every player improves. I was just listening to the Drew Tranquil podcast. He sat down with Derwin James, and Derwin talks about how when he was a rookie, he was playing like so much of it on instinct and athletic ability. Like if he said, if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to make it going 115 miles an hour and do that. So like he's improved. He's allowed to get smarter. We saw Pipkins. I'm not saying I want him to be the right tackle next year, but we saw him make strides in the right direction last year. Like, so my thing with Penning is like, yeah, people bring up the penalties. People bring up all these other things. But what if he gets to a place where he has a good team, good coaching? I would prefer Penning more in a trade back scenario, like 22. It's like, okay, let's get him or whatever. But I just feel like if he's the pick on draft night, that party can't even be saved by Snoop Dogg. The amount of people that trash this kid on Twitter, it's outrageous. Like they just hate him. Nobody wants him. I don't get it.
Yeah, and the Chargers have shown like public interest in Derek Stingley. There's been like reports or leaks that they're interested in wide receivers. Remember, NFL teams do throw up smoke screens. And how quiet the team's been about Penning is a little bit suspicious to me. They don't even really talk about him at all.
Yeah, they put him in that video, though.
They did.
The social media team. I don't know how plugged they are into the war room strategy, but they did have somebody pull some video or pictures off of him and put him in that video. So who knows? But
the reason Chargers fans are mad, Tony, is because this is clearly the boring pick. It's the boring pick at the spot that is boring to fill, but we need to fill it. So it is on the board. Everyone be prepared for Trevor Penning's name to be called and to be excited about it because we got a starting right tackle. We got someone that's not Storm Norton. He doesn't have long hair. He looks like he's a little bit taller and stronger and just more intimidating in general.
I'll say this lastly about him really quick. It's like Penning he might be the boring pick. But also, the reason I might not be saying anything is because they think that their offensive line is better than we think it is. Like that could be a lot amongst the coaches is they go, hey, the fans don't know how much we worked with these guys and how much they've improved and everything, and we're gonna show them that we have.
And also, the line wasn't terrible last year. I mean, the right tackle was the point of failure for the line, and there was many spots where we probably pick up a first down or we probably make that play if Herbert has a little bit more time with Storm Norton out there. But they could definitely just get someone average to fill that spot. Moving Filer out there is definitely an option, and the line's still going to be a top 15, borderline top 10 O-line, I think, even without adding a tackle in the first round or guard. So we'll see. No, don't say this. Don't say this. Don't say this. I can't believe that I would take Trey Pipkins over anybody. Okay. That's already bad after the 2020 campaign with Trey Pipkins. Here we go. I like this a lot better. I like this one a lot better. So shake that 8 ball up. It better say yes, that we are going to add a power back. Do we add a power back, Bull fam? Here we go.
Here it is. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. It says yes Definitely.
If it says no, lie and say that it says yes, because we are definitely drafting a power back later in the draft. It's just, where are they going to do it at? Because there seems like there's a lot of options when it comes to power back that we could look at this year that are going to be 3, 4, 5, maybe even into the 6th round, with how many of the guys at the tail end of the RB class this year that are power backs, and that's all they really do well. The all-around guys are probably going to go before round 3. But once we get past those all around, once Breece Hall's gone and Kenneth Walker's gone and Isaiah Spiller's gone, like, everyone from there on back is your prototype for a power back. So I'm pretty pumped to see which one will we grab, because I'm a fan of a couple of them.
Yeah, who's the guy? It's from the guys from the Guilty as Charged podcast. They love the same guy as you. Was it Rashad White?
Yeah,
One of
Rashad
the-
White. Yeah, I love that guy. I think that
Yeah.
he's going to be a beast in the NFL if he ends up in the right spot behind the right players.
And I do think that he would be very good in this offense. My thing with getting a running back this year is that I want the running back, and to me, behind the right side of our line, this is my second biggest concern, is that when we get late into the year, we get into playing cold, bad weather games, we need somebody to come in and be able to just play some ugly football. Like, I think you have to have that in a snowy, wet field in Tennessee, Cincinnati, Buffalo could be a snowstorm. And what are we doing then? Are we running jet sweeps with Mike Williams? And, who are we bringing in to bring that hammer? And I would just like to have somebody getting, 125 carries before the playoffs and just being ready to go and saying, hey, ball security, you're getting 8 to 10 touches today, and most of them are going to be somewhere between the tackles. You're going to pick a hole, you're going to make one cut, and you're going to run through a linebacker. Sorry, it's a short career, but it's what's happening.
I'm also very concerned for Eckler, and I've been concerned since about halfway through Eckler's first season without Melvin Gordon on the team. He runs like a maniac, and he knows no other way to run. I want him to keep running that way. But he be taking 5 hits on plays sometimes, and he be getting 30, 35 touches a game when you include his receiving touches and his rushing touches. It is way too much. He's getting a Christian McCaffrey level workload for multiple years now. They have to slow that down, or Eckler, unfortunately, is not going to see another contract. I'm very, very worried about that, and I think adding a running back that can actually be trusted with somewhat of a workload. I thought it was going to be Roundtree after that one game he had where he had somewhat of a workload and played well, scored the touchdown, did the dance. I thought after that, for sure, we found our guy. Thank goodness Eckler's career just got extended by 2 years probably. But that is one big concern I have as well, and I really need us to get a running back in there. I wanted Donta Foreman. Me and you talked about it a lot. I wanted Donta Foreman on this roster. He was perfect.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Leonard Fournette.
Oh, wrong way. The guy on the screen right here kind of reminds me of Donta Foreman a little bit. Leonard Fournette, similar style guy.
I put one of my favorites on there, Dameon Pierce, stiff arming an LSU guy. Like, let's go. Let's get these. Dameon Pierce seems to be the least impressive to most people when I talk about him or whatever. They're like, yeah, he's just not special. He's not fast. He's not. I'm like, yeah, but every time you watch him, he's going forward and he's picking up yards and catching the ball nicely. Like, I like that. That's what I'd like to see.
I just watched Shea Patterson make 5 people miss in the backfield and then throw a ball that was only needed to go 10 yards to be completed straight into the dirt. Jesus.
Michigan flashbacks. I would love to.
Yeah, he just feels like he's going to be a little bit out of reach for us. He's going to get drafted probably before we get to him. We'd have to trade back and get a second-round pick and or trade up back into the second round probably to get him. Well, that would be a perfect one too, because Kenneth Walker can do a little bit more than all these power backs. He can also catch the ball at the backfield. So when he comes on the field, teams won't be keyed in like they're probably running the football. We could throw it.
Yeah, he's I think he's probably somewhere in that 40 range, right? Like, there's some teams that need running backs coming up around there. The Texans. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to
The Bills.
Seattle, I guess, could go.
Yeah.
The Bills at the end of everybody has the Bills taking a running back there. I don't see that happening. I think they need a pass rusher. They gotta get somebody. They gotta take another shot. They took Gregory Rousseau or something.
Yeah,
He might have been okay, but
they keep ending up on the board with running backs like right there in front of their faces and passing. It's happened like 3 straight years in a row now.
yeah.
So, anyways, next question. Let's do it. The 8-ball wants power back. I want a power back. You want a power back. Everyone in the chat wants a power back. So, let's go get ourselves a power back, everybody. All right, Magic 8-ball. Do we quench the need for speed? Important screen. Word number 9, looking nice, looking fast.
It says without a doubt.
Let's go. This is another need that we've talked about, Tony. The backup running back, one more O lineman, whoever it's going to be, whoever's going to play tackle, whoever's going to play guard, and someone that can really stretch the field. We have Jalen Guyton, who we've seen do it, but we just don't think, no offense to Jalen Guyton, I love him as a depth piece in this team. I love him as like a fringe practice squad, back and forth kind of guy between the years that we need him. We need a guy that can actually stretch the field. So hopefully we go ahead and get somebody. Another option to trade back is to trade back right in front of the Chiefs and draft Christian Watson, which would be absolutely hilarious because he's kind of perfect to mitigate some of those problems they may have without Tyreek Hill for them.
Yeah, and here's my thing with drafting a wide receiver in the first round. It's just not a need, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's fun, and Jameson Williams would be amazing in this offense, but, like, it's just not a need this year. And we need to pretend like these other guys in second and third rounds can't be bigger deals. Like, was Tyreek a first-round pick? I don't remember, but I don't think so. DK wasn't a first-round pick. Debo wasn't a first-round pick. Like,
Keenan.
you can get get playmakers at wide receiver later in the draft, especially when your trigger man is Justin Herbert. Like, to me, drafting a wide receiver in the first round won't be necessary for like another 5 years. Like, until like Mike's done and Keenan's done and we see what's going on with Josh Palmer, and like that would be them assuming they develop nobody, right? Which I cannot see that happening. Great quarterbacks, they allow receivers to reach their maximum potential. I've been watching it for 30 plus years across the NFL. It's just what happens every year. So I think I really like Austin's really fun. I think he would be a fan favorite here because he's little, he's fast, and I think it would just be electric to watch him out there. That, you know, that Darian Sproles feel that's been gone for a long time. Thornton to me is like, I think if he ends up in the right spot is legit. Like, he's going to be better than people give him credit for. And I keep going, oh yeah, remember all those receivers the Raiders kept drafting because of their speed and they couldn't catch? And I'm like, remember all the quarterbacks who were throwing the football who were horrible? Yeah, I remember that.
They all wore number 4. But yeah, I'm excited to get a speedy receiver too. This is why I really want the Chargers to think about trading back if they can get either another 3rd round pick that's early or a 2nd round pick, because it just feels like we're talking, you know, tackle, receiver. We both want another DB, a running back. We're running out of options here before we're drafting these positions in the 6th and 7th round with our compensatory picks. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I like both Austin and I like Thornton. I have a little bit of a fan appreciation for George Pickens, who's a little bit more of a well-rounded guy, and Justin Ross later on. There's a bunch of receivers in this draft. There's a bunch of receivers. He's gonna pop somewhere. As long as he doesn't end up on like the Bears, I think he's gonna be, because the Bears have 2 picks at 39. I think it's like 38 and 39 or whatever. And they need a big receiver because they got Darnell Mooney there. They could definitely use Alec Pierce, and I really hope he doesn't go there. You just definitely jinxed Alec Pierce.
Next.
Here we go. Next question. Will we land, and here's another position, will we land a promising inside linebacker? Shake that bad boy up. Troy
Two of my
Reeder,
favorites on there.
Drew Tranquil, Kenneth
Okay.
Murray,
Oh, I might have broken it.
Ogbagmaminga. Those are our
Oh.
linebackers right now.
It says don't count on it.
Hey, like we were just saying, we're asking for a lot of positions with not having a second round pick. So maybe linebacker is a position that gets iced out. The team has not shown any commitment to keeping linebackers or adding linebackers to the team that are going to improve the core. I think that Staley's defense and the way we're going with this is he just needs guys that'll do what he's taught them to do, execute, do their job, and move on to the next play. The playmakers are in the secondary and on the D line. We'll see, and we'll find out. This is Leo Chanel and Troy Anderson, right, on my screen
Yep.
right now?
Yep,
Yeah.
it is. And I just want to say one thing to the fans out there. Reader season! Here it is.
Troy Reeder. Yeah, so
Troy-
right now the linebackers are Troy Reeder, who I think is going to get a lot of playing time. We'll see how he does. I don't think he's a very good coverage guy. He plays hard, but we'll see. I haven't seen much on tape that gets me too excited. He had to play a lot last year for the Super Bowl champions, so that's promising at least at the very minimum. Kenneth Murray, obviously, who is on his last string with me at this very moment. I actually traded him in a mock draft last night for a 54th pick. That's how bad it's gotten. And then Ogbagmaminga, who showed flashes in the preseason and as a depth player when we needed him, but is he ready to come in and be our Kaiser White of this year? Basically is what we're going to need him to do. I'm not sure about that. And Drew Tranquil, who I think all around is really good, but he cannot stay on the field. He cannot stay on the field.
So here's my thing. I've been listening to the Tranquil podcast, and this is what happens. I get emotionally invested in people that I like, that I think are really great human beings. I love his positivity, and I am now rooting so hard for this guy to have a big year, to play 17 games and just go out there and say, hey, I want a contract. I'm not going to break the bank. I love being a Charger. I want to get paid, like decent for my position, and I'll play here for another 4 years. But like you said, he was going back to his injuries in college the other day when he was talking, and I'm like, and these injuries in the NFL, like, it scares me. Just be healthy, Tranquil. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, it's time, man. And the 1 year that he was healthy, he had a little bit of a breakout year, and he showed some promise. I was very excited for him to take a leap into the next level of linebackers, where you're no longer just this young guy that's just getting a lot of playing time because there is no one else on the roster. Like, I wanted him to start getting some league-wide notice, and then boom, he tore his knee up, and then last year he had injury concerns too. So we're 2 years removed from Drew Tranquil's last, really good season, where a lot of Chargers fans, you probably remember, had a lot of hope on Drew Tranquil. We thought he was going to be really good. He's really good in coverage, almost a safety in coverage, and then he's a very good scraper. Very hard player. Good at going after the run game when he's healthy, though. That's the big caveat on it all.
Yep, big year. I saw Instant Replay put up there about Tillery season. I'm going to write a blog about that.
I was going to do
Tillery.
that. Let's do the 8-ball for all these question marks after this.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. We were talking about cornerbacks. Tony, 8-ball. Can we expect a corner with upside in the draft this year?
Okay, you'll see that's Zion McCollum and that's Vincent Gray right there. They're both 6'2 plus corners, can play press.
I like some 6'2
It
corners.
is decidedly so.
Let's go. I like both these options, both Zion McCollum. I like Gray. Another guy I think that deserves a little bit of praise and a little bit of notice is Tariq Woolen, who I think that Staley might have his eyes on. 6'4", runs a 4.3. I mean, just everything that you want. Just a little bit raw, struggled a little bit in zone coverage and making the right reads all the time. But in man coverage was very good. He's a guy that's going to go later in the draft as well. If they don't go Stingley, basically, or if they trade back and let's say they get Booth, or maybe they just stay at 17 and get Booth or McDuffie or whoever they might want, we're looking at one of these guys probably getting added to the Chargers. I know for a fact that they want running back and they want DB in this draft, at least one.
Yeah, again, and one of these guys comes on and boosts the special teams because they're athletic. Like Gray's a little bit slower. The 40 time wasn't impressive, but I watched him at Michigan. Like, he's good. He's not great, but maybe with the right coaching and stuff, he reaches a really solid, substantial level, right?
And there's a couple of great DBs, and I don't mean to cut you off. Great DBs come out of the draft in that room with him. That's always something that's good to see. You see it at Florida State a lot, where there's like 3 NFL caliber guys on the same team, and you don't realize it because one guy is taking all the attention. Daxton Hill in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. Jackson's a beast. Yeah, I think I just want to say this about the 8-ball. It's kind of like it's kind of feeling Staley's like ways a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The big back, he talked about it. He did not big on linebacker. They said no. The Penning thing, it said that Chargers fans will feel some regret about the Penning situation. And now decidedly so on a corner, which Staley loves corners, big corners.
I'm with it.
Last
All right.
question.
Last question. Do we leave the draft with O-line questions? I don't know what it said for the guard or for Penning. I forgot, but
I know what it said. It said the guard was a bad choice at 17, but it doesn't say about trading back. It just says it's
Penning is going to give us regrets. So
Penning will give us regrets.
we should avoid O-line. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, it says reply hazy, try again. Oh, they're leaving us hanging. Come on, Magic 8-ball.
Here we go. Here we go.
My emotions
Here
like
we go.
that.
Here we
There
go.
it is. What are we doing here? I can't do it, Mike. I can't.
What did it say?
It says most likely.
Trey Pipkins.
Let me say this. From a fan perspective, again, I think that we as fans could be leaving with concerns, but the coaching staff themselves might be saying, okay, we kind of have some deals worked in place. We're going to go get this offensive guard on the market or this tackle, and we're going to draft somebody a little bit later that fans really aren't that familiar with, but we know that, we worked with him. We know what he's capable of, and we think he can come in and compete right away. Like, just because we won't be familiar with who it is, we still might have some questions, especially if we move up to get Stingley, right? If we trade and we move up in the draft and we don't, by day 4, we're going to be looking at like no tackles there on 3 or 4. And it's like, we might have some questions as fans, but the coaching staff is where I want the confidence to be. Mike, what do you got to say?
I'm with you on that. And I'm okay with the O-line being Filer bumping out to tackle, Hymas and returning Oday Abushi as the guards, Lindsley at center, and, of course, Slater at left tackle. I don't know the route to depth. I guess you have Trey Pipkins, who can kind of play across the entire line a little bit, except for center. So we'll see. We'll see what goes there. We lost Quessenberry, who went to the Jets, I believe. I forget what team he went to, but he's been kind of our backup guard / center situation. Maybe Pipkins is going to be backup tackle guard center. We'll see about that. But yeah, I would be okay with the line being that slate of guys because I like I said, we were a top 15 O-line last year with one more year working together, one more year of Herbert getting accustomed and getting familiar and building the chemistry with the line. They could sneak into the top 10 without adding much more to the line. Adding a tackle is just there because of Storm Norton's poor play last year in some important spots. That's really what's highlighted that position so much. The O-line is not a desperate need for the Chargers that we're talking about. It's just the one spot where we could maybe point out a weakness in the team right now.
Yeah, I think it's the right side of the line, the second running back, and the linebacker, right? Like those are the 3 areas. Everywhere else I feel absolutely tremendous about, and I'm not even sure that we could draft somebody that would start. And like people keep going, we need a receiver. I don't know if they're starting. Jameson Williams might play a lot. I don't think he starts over any of the 3 receivers that I have ahead of him. Not coming out, coming off an injury, missing camp, whatever. He's not starting for us next year. So like, it's my opinion.
Let's go get us some Derek Stingley, Tony. Let's go get us some Derek Stingley. I've kind of decided that the guy that I want is Stingley. If I could choose anyone in the draft right now, where we're at, either falling Stingley or trade up for Stingley.
Okay, Mike, I made my second wall prediction up there. Put it on the wall. Yes. And it is the Chargers will not be drafting at 17 on draft day.
So
Now, I think if Stingley's there, we go up. I think if he's not, Telesco works his backside off to go backwards, right? But I want to point this out. Last offseason was a lot about Herbert. We draft Slater, we draft Lindsley. You get a tight end and a receiver for him to work with. Young in this, like 1 year after he's drafted. I think this offseason, Staley is getting everything he wants. Telesco, I want Khalil Mack. Boom, done. Telesco, we're going to spend a bunch of money on J.C. Jackson. Need a number one lockdown. Boom, it's done. Like here, you want some former Rams to come over who know your system. Oh, you want Sebastian Joseph Day, Troy Reader. Boom, boom, boom. It's all done. He's getting everything he wants. I think if he goes to Telesco and says, I want Stingley, Telesco's going to find a way to make it happen. It's simple as that.
I'm with you. It does feel like that's the vibe. Dedicated to the defense this offseason. And the defense was terrible last year. So it's a good time to dedicate to it. There was one more question here. Oh, here it is. Ask the Magic 8 Ball real quick before we go anywhere. Are we going to draft Matt Araiza?
Matt Araiza! Here we go.
Got a long list of wishes for Chargers fans. But
it says, outlook, not so good.
Yeah. Would you rather have Matt Araiza or Tyquan Thornton?
That is kind of the question. That 123, yeah. Like maybe you got to move up. Maybe you got to use one of the 7th round picks to move up to like 106 or something. I did hear Matt Money Smith on the pod last week talking about how he spent 2 hours watching punters, and he said there was a couple of punters that he was very excited about that'll be like 6th, 7th round picks. That he's like, he won't be shocked at all if they go get one of these other kids that are like still got a big leg, still got great hang time. They just don't have the 86-yard highlight like Araiza does. That gets everybody whipped up into a frenzy.
Another question: are they from San Diego, and did they go to San Diego State?
That's the problem. That really is.
We're not in. If I'm not in, that's part of the thing here. Is the whole San Diego thing coming to LA?
Geographical, political identity. It's holding people back forever.
Going from playing on Qualcomm's construction site to the SoFi Stadium. Oh, man.
I do want to ride it too.
All right, last show before the draft, Tony. Any last things to say? Anything last things to say?
No, I got to get instant replay on my question here. It is decidedly so on Tillery. Tillery breakout year right there. It is decidedly
not
so.
Storm. There you go. Tillery breakout year.
If I did it for Storm too, it would just say no. And I don't even know if that is inside of this thing. I saw the Dallas fan say he wants Nakobe Dean. I love it. I'm here for it. Will Max and Juan teams combined win more than a dozen games this year? This is Eagles and Raiders, and it says very doubtful. It says very doubtful. How you doing?
Very doubtful. Here, I'll read it aloud. It says very doubtful to get more than
very doubtful that you guys will win less than 12 games.
Oh, come on. I love it. Oh, man. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Can't wait for draft night. We're going to be live for it somewhere. Let's keep an eye on the Instagram page. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. We'll definitely be posting up where we're going to be live at and when we're going to do it. That's it. Bolt up. Let's go get our guy.
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
On blue, ready?
Don Coryell.
Yeah, it's tough because the Raiders suck.